Hello YouTube, it's Seiya here with Hobbies of Man once again, and today we are doing another first impressions review. Today we're going to be reviewing two kind of classic shonen manga in the form of Saint Seiya, Volume 1, and Yu Hakusho, Volume 1. Now, these issues are kind of by Panini, and these are the Kanzenban editions of the manga, so that's why they look kind of different. And these are in Spanish, so you can't actually get these in English, but I'm sure that eventually, at least the Yu Hakusho one will come to the US at some point, because Yu Hakusho is kind of like a pretty famous series. So yeah, the kind of connective tissue between these two is the fact that they're all kind of old school shonen series. So Saint Seiya is from the 1980s, and Yu Hakusho is from the 1990s. So they're kind of older, and that kind of reflects in the art style. But overall, I think they're pretty cool stories. So let's start with Saint Seiya. So Saint Seiya is written by Masami Kurumada, who is kind of a very classic and well-known mangaka across the world, except for the US. I don't know why people don't really like him here. Actually, there's quite a few kind of reasons why people wouldn't like him, mostly due to the fact that his story, Saint Seiya, came to the US quite after some other series that were kind of based on it came to the US. And so it's kind of weird to see the original after the kind of derivative versions. But there's also kind of other aspects, like the fact that he does this kind of like star system pretty often, which is something that people don't like, as you guys can see with all the hate that Hiramashima gets from reusing his character designs or whatever, even though most mangaka do it. So, I mean, I can see there's quite a few reasons why people don't like it, but I mean, as is the case with most manga and anime, people really care about the stuff that they have a nostalgia for, and anything that's new is kind of like, seen as worse than what they liked when they were kids, right? But since no one really has nostalgia for it in the US, it's not very popular. But yeah, so the demographic here is shown in, like I said, the genres are fantasy and martial arts. And this does have an adaptation, a very classic and very well-known anime in the Latin American community with a very cool opening theme by Mauro Mendo. I really love that song. It's really, really cool. At least his Spanish adaptation of the original Japanese Pegasus Fantasy is really, really good. But yeah, the premise here is basically that there's this young man, Saint Seiya, who has recently acquired the Pegasus armor of the kind of Knights of the Zodiac, which are the people that are entrusted to take care of Athena, the goddess of war from Greek mythology, when she walks the earth in order to fight the evils that arise, right? And this young man is from Japan. He got sent to Greece in order to get this armor. He managed to successfully get it, and now he's back in Japan. He's looking for his sister, but he's not being given any information unless he fights in the Galaxian Wars, which is a tournament where all of the Bronze Knights, the lower level of the Knights of the Zodiac, fight against each other in order to see which one of them deserves to get a golden armor, which are the top level kind of armors in this world, right? And yeah, that's basically the setup and the kind of synopsis for this book. Honestly, I don't really have too much to say about it. Saint Seiya is so kind of like difficult to explain very concisely, but basically it's just these dudes have armor that is powered by the stars and constellations. They have this inner power called Cosmo, which they can use kind of like ki in order to kind of bring more power to their attacks, right? And they're tasked with fighting evil by Athena, and that's basically all there is to it. It's not really all that difficult. It's a very classic shonen series, and it's really wonderful. I really love it. I think it's really great. Again, I have a lot of nostalgia for it. And it's nostalgia in kind of two ways. It's not just because I liked the series when I was growing up. It's also because one of my uncles really liked the series and we'd bond over that. So I thought it was really fun, really interesting. And it's just a really classic series that I really like. So yeah, in terms of talking points here, I just want to mention that the art is pretty old school. It kind of reminds me of Fiona Guy and things like Cutie Honey and Devilman, because it does have kind of that like old school, not really well-defined musculature and kind of anatomy of the 80s, right? But it is good. I really like the story. I think the art maybe isn't the best, and honestly, Masami Kurumada hasn't really improved. Even his modern stuff kind of looks more or less the same, but it's really pretty and it's very iconic. And sometimes he does snap, and he does really do really good work. It's just his humans don't look the best, and that's more or less it. But I don't know. I did have a thing where I used to not like a story if the art wasn't interesting. But I've kind of moved away from that, reading a lot of classics. I've kind of gotten used to that older art style and kind of allowed the stories to speak for themselves more than just the artwork. But of course, I understand if some people don't like the fact that the art isn't really that good. So yeah, but if you don't like the art in the manga, you can definitely watch the anime, the original one, not the Netflix one, because the art is significantly better in the anime. And the story is actually really good, so yeah, definitely recommend it. So yeah, let's move on to Yu Hakusho. This is written by Yoshihiro Tagashi. I think he's married to a famous female mangaka, but I can't remember if it's Rumiko Takahashi or the lady that did Sailor Moon. But I'm pretty sure he's connected with one of them, and I can't remember which one. But it doesn't really matter. We're talking about him, not who he's married to. So yeah, this is published by Panini Manga. And the demographic here is shonen, and the genres here are fantasy. And I guess there's an element of martial arts here. And of course, there's also this kind of element of delinquent / Yankee type manga, which might be becoming more popular once again with the recent kind of huge popularity of Tokyo Revengers. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, so this does have an adaptation as well. It's an anime, and I've never watched it, but I know that it's popular with kind of weebs and otaku that are slightly older than me, like in their 30s. But I mean, I wasn't watching television when I was like a little baby, so that's why I never got around to watching Yu Hakusho, I think. But I might want to, because I really like this first volume. So yeah, the kind of premise here is that this delinquent guy, whose name is Yusuke Urameshi, kind of dies because he tried to save a kid that was going to get run over by a car. It turns out this kid was actually not going to get hit, but he managed to kind of die trying to save this kid anyways. And so the gods of death and stuff are like, well, you did a good deed that you didn't have to, and it's kind of our fault that you did it, so we're gonna like help you out. We're gonna let you have the opportunity to go back to life after a year of service and following these rules that we give you, right? And so basically he's tasked with kind of helping solve these kind of supernatural kind of situations that arise, and that's basically it. He gets given this task, and he has to wait, and there's certain rules he's not supposed to break, and he does his best, and I don't know what happens after that, because that's more or less where the volume ends. And yeah, I don't know too much about it beyond that, but so far it kind of feels more like a supernatural detective kind of thing than it really feels like a battle shonen, and that's not a bad thing. And I know it's going to turn into a regular battle shonen later on, so I'm actually quite excited to see where that goes. But so far, so good. I really did like it. So, again, this is an old kind of art style. But I think that this art style is a little bit more and kind of modern or well-liked by others than Masami Kurumada's Saint Seiya. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty excited to read more of this. I definitely want to get more. And I really just love these editions anyways, so I probably will just buy them because they look cool. And they're really not that expensive. If you're looking at them in terms of dollars to Mexican pesos, they're only $10 a pop, which is the same as a regular volume, but these are kind of like more story and kind of have more stuff going on with them, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, in terms of kind of a talking point, I really like Yusuke. I think he's a really wonderful character. He's really cool. He's pretty fun. I like that he's kind of a delinquent, but he's not really a delinquent. He just has priorities that are different from like the regular kind of people in Japan. And so he kind of comes off as this kind of lazy, shitty kid, but he really isn't. He's just kind of misunderstood. Also, really like Botown, I think is her name, is the kind of cute kind of Shinigami girl that kind of helps out Yusuke. And I don't know, I'm pretty excited to see where this goes. I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot of the other characters. And yeah, there's really nothing much to it. So yeah, there you go. That's Yu Yu Hakusho. And that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. See you guys later.